This has been the story. Kaboom has not been pushed off the turrets until they grab it. And the Nexus turret almost about to go down. Alliance has too much on their plate to consider. That's the fight. The control onto left. They are able to take him down. Danagorn. Oh my God! Alliance down.
Welcome everybody to the Mercedes-Benz ATK League of Legends Champions Series powered by Elgato and MSI. Today we are here on a lovely Sunday for some amazing League of Legends. I'm super keen. We have two teams that I believe we've seen before. I know we have seen Tabula in a game before, and I have seen DSG previously. I'm not sure if we've actually casted a game with them, but I think it's
I'm sure we
possible that
have. Down South Gaming, they've got that new jungler that's been added to the roster, been showing up quite a bit. So he was the Viego that we complained that Viego shouldn't be allowed in the tournament because he absolutely smurfed on everyone with it. Remember that series?
Yes, I do. That was an insane series. And honestly, also Viego still isn't enabled in LEC if you or any of the pro leagues, and the reason is because he's got so many bugs, dude. He he had a bug recently where if you bought what's that AP, the ring that you can stack with measures.
I know what you're saying. Dark Seal. That's
Dark Seal. Yeah, he can buy Dark Seal and he can stack it to like 600,000, and then he
killed someone. Something like if he died during the form changing or something, he got infinite stacks of got AP and basically just absolutely destroyed everyone on the map. So, you know, I mean, in theory, a champion like that seems like it'd be really buggy. It's almost like the new Yorick, was it? The Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser was the champion, the OG broken champion.
Used to do that.
So, I mean, he's the new Mordekaiser. Put it on right to bring out a champion they can't really handle. But nonetheless,
I'm just thinking, like, as a developer, it's such a bad idea. I don't know why we would have done that. It's just like you like I'm thinking we have in the developer world we have this thing called developer tax or like tax, literally just tax. The amount of tax you pay on a champion like that is infinitely more the more champions you release, because you have to make sure that they interact correctly with all the new champions that come on. And if you change another champion, you have to change, and it's a disaster.
You're just creating infinite more work for yourself. Like, it just doesn't make sense, right, games? Please.
Exactly. But you're taxing yourself on the current champion, and it's the same with the champion that steals ulti, Silas as well. He's very, very hard.
They kind of brought them both out somewhat like recently after each other, so it was only like a couple of champs between. So right, creating infinite more bugs, infinite more potential. You know, pretty standard stuff for Spaghetti Code.
I mean, I'm thinking about it. They must have been like they must have thinking about I think what happened was they probably made Silas, and then after Silas they were like, okay, it's so cool that we have a champ that can steal ultis, but what about a champ that steals everything but the ulti?
It's like the reverse, basically, yeah. But speaking of stealing stuff, let's see who steals today's win as we are jumping into the first game of the best of 3 between Tabula and Down South Gaming. Let's take a look.
Jump into champ select, and just for those of you to have an idea of what the stakes are like, they're in Group B with the likes of Big 5 Esports, Instinct Esports, MLGC Aspect, Era Lost Time, and they're in 5 and 6 respectively, these two teams. Down South Gaming and Tabula coming in 6th, which means that this series is a very, very close series, because for those of you that don't know, when we get to the next stage of the tournament, which is coming up in about 5 more weeks, then you need to be in the top 4 if you want to make it to the next round. So them being in 5 and 6 means that they're very close to making it into the top 4. They just need to beat 2 other teams together. And so, like, this is a really, really important game, and I'd like to see some...
I'd like to see the pick and bounce, but apparently it's a break-in. We have done it yet again, somehow breaking our champion select tool. This is... We start the stream off with bugs, so what do we expect? We can't discuss, let's kind of think it's just bad way to start the stream, but nonetheless, walking us through the pick and ban so far, the bans being from the side of Tabula, Lucian, Viego, Senna versus the likes of the Udyr, Shaco, and Victor. Hecarim locked in for the first pick.
Yeah, we do have the Hecarim lock coming out for the jungler of DSG, who we have seen on that Viego, and we mentioned before. Be following that out by the Cho'Gath coming out on the opposing side for Tabula, picking up that Cho'Gath, which is super strong. Not going to be in the bot lane with the Senna though, as Senna is banned, and hopefully they pick up a jungler here.
I mean, Hecarim very highly prioritized. On the other hand, there was the Senna ban, which takes away any opportunity for Cho'Gath fasting in the bot lane to be possible. So most likely we'll be seeing that top lane. So bit of an interesting one there. What are your thoughts on Cho'Gath top at the moment, especially in like a blind pick fashion?
I think it's pretty good. It doesn't have that many counter picks. It's got really good lane sustain. I think it's a pretty good pick. I think there is some really bad matchups against it, but you have to count on the fact that the enemy top laners can play it, which I think I find that the top laners in South Africa, they have more specific champion pools. They like 3 or 4 champions and not too many more than that. We also did have the Morgana come out on the side of Tabula, which was a really interesting one. I'm not so sure. I'm guessing probably going to be going to support, and DSG rounded out their ban or their last pick phase here before the next ban phase with a Thresh and an Orianna. So we have Hecarim, Thresh, Orianna, which is this golden engage comp with a Hecarim with a bowl of Orianna looking super strong, and Thresh being another great engage as well as disengage. And Tabula is going to round it out with Nami. So we have Nami probably going to be going support. Morgana is now up for grabs, either the mid lane or the jungle. I hope it's not the jungle. And Cho'Gath in most probably the top lane.
Yeah, so I mean, like you mentioned, just to reiterate, so we've got Thresh in the bot lane versus the likes of Nami. We had the Morgana pick up from the side of Tabula pretty early in the draft, but the fact that they're now locked in Nami means that we will be having the Morgana mid lane as well as Nami support. So they've kind of given away that flex potential, but hang on. Keep in mind, this patch there was some new updates to the jungle, so Morgana actually becoming a stupidly broken jungle, I believe second on U.GG, at least in terms of stats. So perhaps that's going to be the Morgana jungle opposed to mid lane.
Well, I mean, I haven't actually checked the stats, and I haven't seen Morganas in my game, so I kind of figured maybe it was just one of those buffs where they buff it and everyone's like, it's trash, don't play it. But could be wrong. Ornn and Garen coming out the bans for Tabula, which is not super surprising. Maybe not comfortable with those matched up against the Cho'Gath. And we do get Caitlyn banned by DSG.
So locked in so far, Hecarim, Thresh, Orianna for DSG versus Cho'Gath, Morgana, Nami. As for bans, both Ornn and Garen off the table. Caitlyn, the second last into Guppy's final Ziggs takeaway. So quite understandable Ziggs ban to come through versus the likes of Psycho. It's one of his go-to champions, at least for the mid lane. Something else we got to keep in mind is that we don't really know who plays where in the side, because I mean, Psycho's shown support, he's shown mid lane, so they've got a very likelihood to kind of swap around. As we do have now the second bot lane pickup to round out the Nami Samira combo. What are your thoughts on that duo combo? It seems kind of odd, the fish with Samira.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one. When you pick Samira, you want hard CC because of how that interacts with her passive. And also, you really want a lot of frontline peel for Samira. She doesn't do well with getting dived. And that's kind of what Hecarim can do. We see this Thresh, Orianna, Tristana, Hecarim. All these guys really want to dive really hard. And currently, it doesn't look like Samira is going to be very comfortable there. And Nami doesn't provide quite as much peel as something like a Nolus might, and not as much CC. And CC is a big part of Samira's damage profile. And it helps her to land that the ultimate style points faster.
Yeah, I mean, Jinx was still available. Jinx a pretty high priority pick right now for AD carries, thanks to the changes that have come through the last few patches, as the final lockout will be Varus. Interesting call.
I don't know.
Was that?
I don't know what's going on anymore.
Okay, so Cho'Gath, Varus, Morgana, Samira, Nami versus Sion, Hecarim, Ori, Tristana, and Thresh. Bit of an
We're
interesting
not
draft.
making this up, guys.
So, I mean, if I
This
had
is
to
the
take a
actual
guess,
draft.
I would think it's going to be Guppy with his Samira and Nami bot lane, Morgana in the jungle with Varus mid and Shogath top.
I hope so. Cho'Gath jungle? I don't know. I'm not. I'm gonna stop thinking about that side of and look at the opposing side. We have the Scion potentially versus this Cho'Gath, which is it's a pretty normal matchup. Nothing too crazy. Both scale really well. A Hecarim in the jungle versus a Morgana. I'm nervous. I haven't seen the Morgana, so I have no reference point as to how good she should do. Orianna versus Varus, then.
I mean,
Potentially.
Ori's super safe. That's something we've always discussed, is that she's one of those really, really safe mid picks, especially in the blind fashion with the likes of Varus. I mean, Varus has that super long range. Perhaps we get the Dark Harvest Varus, which is kind of been popping up a little bit. So, not entirely sure. But keep in mind, it is Psycho playing it. So, Psycho is the Shaco, quote-unquote, one-trick support player. So, bit of an interesting, different playstyle from him. It is off meta to an extent, so it's kind of understandable that he's going to go for a pick like this. But it's not bot lane, as we do have Pit on his Nami for that lane at least. But overall, what are your thoughts in terms of draft victory?
I mean, that's an easy one, right? This is a trick question. I think DSG hard won this draft. They've got really great picks, the best picks that are like they have S+ tier picks, and on the side of Tabula we have a comp that isn't very cohesive, and there's a lot going on.
Okay, so we'll jump it in game in a second, and then everyone can take a better look at the pick and ban phase. Apologies about that. For some reason, the champ select tool is broken. It does have a tendency to break itself, especially with the additions of new patches, which we have had recently. It was working, so I'm kind of surprised, but hopefully get it fixed for the second game. Only time will tell. It is what it is. It happens, but nonetheless, you get to see Tankers and myself on the full screen again. So hi, if you are watching from home, if you're watching on the TV. Look at us for a little bit longer before we do jump into the first game. It is a best of 3, however, so even if DSG in Tanker's opinion winning this draft pretty hard, have won it, maybe we have a better draft coming through for game number 2. I mean, are you a fan of this Shaco support? You kind of bashed on it a little bit last time we saw from, I believe, Psycho. So I mean, do you want to see it again?
Shaco as a champ. I'm a level 7 Shaco player, so I'm on board with a Shaco as like a champion. But after the recent nerfs to support, which I've mentioned in the previous stream, if you watched that one, I don't think he's viable as a support anymore. Like they really nerfed his AP ratios, I believe, and kind of just made him less useful as a support and more useful as a jungler. Because I think maybe the support was just too much. It was showing up all over the place. To be honest, I think there was a while where like every solo queue game there was a Shaco on one of the sides, and it was getting a bit much. So I guess Riot like pulled a we don't want any of that anymore.
But yeah, not too happy about that. I mean, Shaco's kind of champion has been going through from season to season, kind of changing build, almost like a Master Yi, where you don't like it's either the AP Shaco or the AD Shaco that's stronger. Obviously, in support role, it needs to be AP Shaco, as AD realistically you're not going to get too much value, as well as probably need a little bit more gold to become as efficient, so don't really see that becoming viable. But I did take a look at Psycho's match history, I think the other day, and he is still playing it. He's having success. He's in Plat 1 currently, still playing the Shaco, so maybe today's the redemption day that we do get him bringing it out and showing us, hang on, Tankers, don't hate on my Shaco yet, I have potential, just let me do my thing.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing for me is definitely... Okay, we have confirmation that is Morgana jungle. Yes, we have Morgana jungle with Dark Harvest in the Tabula side of things, and Hecarim on the opposing side, with Varus probably going to be going mid lane by the looks of it. He does have heal and comet, so that's normally the lethality Varus build, because the attack or on hit Varus build tends to go for lethal tempo instead.
100% nonetheless. We'll be jumping through into the live on the Rift in just a second. We'll see you guys there for game number 1. Right, we're back at it again for game
Welcome back.
1. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm super excited. We have DSG versus Tabula, and you guys can now have a look at these two team compositions if you didn't follow us in the Champ Select before. As you can see, we have the Morgana jungle for the side of Tabula with Varus in the mid lane, Cho'Gath in the top lane, and Samira and Nami in the bot lane versus the likes of Tristana Thresh.
Right, it's just on a stack,
So I'm
no
go-
signs of an invade yet.
Yeah, I'm curious. We just get a ward going out there that is pinged by Tabula, so they are aware that that was potentially coming through. So I think in this particular game, normally we can kind of talk about all the lanes and what we're expecting from the early game, but I think with the Varus Orianna lane, neither of us are too educated on that, and haven't seen enough Morgana jungle to know how that matches up against the likes of a Hecarim. But we can talk about this bot lane, the Tristana, who also has exhaust here. Ooh, Snake. Just
Snake.
dropping it cheeky. The snake. Dropping a cheeky ward there. Going to be getting information on where this Morgana is starting.
So keep in mind is that Psycho's opted to go for the tier first item, so he's gonna have a lot of mana to poke with, a lot of mana to use his abilities, but really won't have too much damage behind them, just yet at least. Otherwise, I believe commencing stopwatch in the pocket as well, so we're waiting for that time to come through, but Psycho already straight off the bat, looking to try and apply as much pressure as he can, stepping forward to try and poke out Wombat, saying, no, friend, keep your distance, I am long range and I will abuse it. So, what are your thoughts on Wombat going barrier into this matchup? It's not going for the TP on already, which we do see fairly often, instead leaning for the combat summoner, a bit of a safety barrier, if you will.
Yeah, it's a bit of an odd one for me. I'm not sure if you need it, but like maybe if he gets a little bit ahead.
Oh, hello, level 2 flash
blocking.
flare. Lesnek looks for the hook, he finds it, the bomb has been attached, but Nick Wolf unfortunately not able to get the reset or the jump as he is still level 2.
Senegal and Papa Smurfy doing some trading there. Shields come out and sustain. Nothing too crazy. Getting those grass procs. Some nice Qs coming out as well. It's actually looking pretty good.
Yeah, I definitely think the teleport of the cleanse would have been the go-to in this option. They've versing Morgana jungle. She has that binding with all the memes. How you go AFK when you get hit by that. You get that AFK warning kind of lance. So you do know how bad it can be. Plus the fact that he has the shackles. As Lesnek looks for his own shackle at the bot lane, Guppy now trying to punish as he does dash forward. No signs of pitches yet as the exhaust blast ignite burnt the combat summoners from Nick Wolf as Guppy just able to survive, but does end up losing his own heal for Nick Wolf's exhaust.
Yeah, but I think overall that's a net, not positive, but net even trade there. No one gaining or losing anything too much. Yeah, and back to this mid lane, it's also interesting to see the heal on Psycho. I'm thinking he also had a few other options in terms of summoner spells.
I mean, the nice thing about some of the heal is that it gives you that movement speed boost on cost as well. Plus, it works on an ally, so when Morgana comes for a gank, maybe having that heal means that she finds... Oh, hang on, the tick at the top of the W damage is going to be there. Liverpool, as DSG Bunny not able to really regain that one-for-one trade, so we do have a first blood going over to the side of Tabula. Good job, Mr. Morgana, or Miss Morgana.
Yeah, my question is, why was the whole of DSG topside?
Oh, speaking of top side, Psycho not in a good spot. That heal is not keeping alive as Wombat ends up burning his own barrier. Don't think that was necessary, but he was concerned about those corrupting stacks he had collected already. So that's going to be now DSG finally neutralizing themselves. So 1-1 as we do hit that 420 point on the game.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure about that roam. I think it was maybe trying to get Hecarim to secure the scuttle without any issues, and Morgana's picking up some mid CS as Varus was respawning and not there on time. I kind of expect this Hecarim to get ahead.
Doing right things, buffing Morgana, making sure that she's viable in the jungle, has kind of overcompensated. Honestly, I think Morgana has one of, if not the quickest and healthiest clears in the jungle. You put 3 to 4 points in W, and you basically just W the camp and walk away kind of thing. Like, you literally lose 0 health in that clear, as well as the speed is just ridiculous. So I think we're gonna honestly sleeper OP right now, and I'm expecting big pickups for the jungle Morgana in the future games, unless Riot decides to nerf it, which I don't really see them doing. Bot lane.
I feel like this is kind of reminding me of the Ezreal jungle era. Do you remember that? That was like, that was, whew.
Like, Ezreal jungle was like a champ of its own, where you had to do a specific clear into a top lane gank, and if you did not successfully pull off that gank, you were pretty much useless for the rest of the game. But if you did, you would just basically snowball out of control. So that was legitimately the coin flip pick at Ezreal jungle.
Yeah, and I think, yeah, just super interesting to see new jungle picks coming out here. Bot lane, there is something interesting going on.
Oh, the pop out. Nick Wolf does not have his jump anymore, means they won't be able to really take the Superman. Thresh reporting for duty, as we do have Gumpy pop with the cancel. Meanwhile, mid lane cycling on. And it gets spot one, but however, it does have Medine aggro for the soft shield. The final order should be there, and it will be the solo.
Oof. Yeah, and Psycho picked that matchup in the mid lane. It's an unfortunate one. It's an unfortunate one. Yeah, surprisingly even between these two junglers, minus the CS differential.
Guppy.
Oh,
Snack.
beautiful.
Oh, the bubble though. It's going to be
the-
double trouble as Guppy finds himself the first kill. Looking for the second, but Guppy made us go down as Nick Wolf looks to reposition into the fadeaway auto. Nicely played.
Yeah, that was, I think, actually a misplace from Guppy there. Meanwhile, Pit not having a good time, flashing out of the ulti there from Bunny and makes it out alive. Living for another day. Yeah, that was a misplay from Guppy, if you ask me, because he could have ordered Nick there, and I think he would have killed him. And he was trying to run instead. You'll notice it right here after the initial Thresh play there. There's a moment here where he can auto after the jump, and he just doesn't auto.
Oh, the double TP bot lane is going to be blue and red. Looking to join the fighters who have Morgana walking away through Papa Smurfy. Keep in mind the black shield's available, so she can quite easily negate Papa Smurfy's unstoppable, but looks like he's forced to flash out. Doesn't make it across the wall, but it says Seneca the Guardian-less Nick into the knockup. So Seneca with the disrespect dance. As we do know, Cho'Gath, hang on. Seneca.
Senegal's just being like, you can't run away. I'm gonna get you wherever you teleport. Meanwhile, Wombat looking a little sick here in the mid lane, taking quite a bit of damage from this Psycho pickup. Oh, Senegal.
Hello, the
Beautiful
chains.
ulti.
Santi's here to try to redeem Sharkler Psycho's lane, as we do have the Om Nom Nom, the Chompers, they're out. And that's going to be Wombat. First death of the game for him, as we now have Tabula take the lead in terms of kills, 4 to 3.
Yeah, with a 600 gold lead. That was just a misplay from Wombat. I mean, surely you'd notice that there was a TP from the Cho'Gath, and he's one of two things he can do. He can either walk straight back top lane or recall and walk back top lane, but you just can't kind of hope that he's not going to try a gank mid lane on the way top. Nice amount of CC coming out on the side of Tabula.
Pink ward secured. Wombat making a roam down to bot lane. This is kind of an interesting decision. I mean, he has the shockwave, he's got a flash available as well. The ward clear means that it's pretty clear opportunity, but like Guppy has that anti-ball technology. I mean, he has the easy disengage, so realistically this gank attempt being and a coin flip even with the Thresh just on a combo in the bot lane.
Yeah, it was a bit of a dream.
Long stretch.
And we actually do see Feed Flicky evening out the jungle gap. Oh,
CC for CC. It looks like Nami maybe in a bit of trouble. Guppy not really adding too much value there, as Nami pretty much becoming sushi with that trade. Bubble did connect, but in the end it was Thresh coming out ahead, with Nick Wolf finding himself his second kill of the game.
yeah, Pitchan just not respecting the potential.
Oh, jungle for jungle.
All in mid lane.
Mid lane. Shockwave has been burned, as we do have. Oh no, it's painful to watch. And it seems like it's going to be a double win for DSG as they find 2.
Oh man. Yeah, there's no ways as a Morgana that you can take Hecarim in a 1v1. Ooh, beautiful. Canceling the hook there.
Be there.
Guppy.
Opts not to take it, just
He's
stand and
got over
thrash
top
things.
point.
The wave is there into the castle. Nick Wolf now forced to flash as Guppy steps forward, but pushing them back. The slither half as Lesnack is the new focus. Bunny on the other hand,
coming in.
onslaught of shadows, the push to the turret, the perfectly played executed fight. Lesnack just basically walking Guppy to the turret, saying, no, 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 friend. Here we come. Nick Wolf as well handed that kill, so Bunny having the soft trigger discipline. He does not want to take the kill, but he wants to give it to instead Nick Wolf so he can potentially sprint the game in DSG's favor.
Yeah, that was absolute heartbreak for the bot lane of Tabula. You're not... Ooh, beautifully he trying to hold that wave and freeze it for his bot laners so they don't get too far behind. Gonna be able to do that as Hecarim says, it's fine, you do that. I'm gonna go from my Krugs. Yeah, so this is a really, really heartbreak.
No, we've seen this play before. He has no flash. Psycho in a spot now, choking him towards Santical. Wombat has to try and get past, just sitting on the chains, gets the guaranteed into the consume. Senecal and Psycho just pretty well playing off of each other, just looking to try and choke out Wombat as he does greed the pink ward.
Yeah, beautifully played. That was great to see, and I kind of just you need to keep this Hecarim under control at this point. Sion coming in, not gonna find the virus.
Lane flash, Psycho's already burning it. No onslaught plus red side. Bot lane walking through means that Psycho should be pretty safe. He gets that get out the escort, saving Private Psycho. In the mid lane at least, that unfortunate DSG Wombat was not offered from his own team, so he's gonna be able to survive, just only burning the Summoner Flash.
Yeah, so I don't know how worth that was for Papa Smurfy, as he's giving 2 plates over and quite a lot of farm. But meanwhile, in the bot river,
doesn't have the onslaught either, but the turret now spawning shortly. His first member done will be Guppy. Rest in peace. Wave with the style points.
yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing.
Wombat,
Contested vision
the shockwave. Psycho receives the black shield as we do have the Undying Chains. And that's going to be DSG Wombat dropping. No, Psycho refuses to die. The Navi heal just enough to stall him out longer. But unfortunately, Bunny, Chain CC, and Hecarim now finds himself kill number 3 as the Dragon should be there for the reward for DSG.
Oof. Psycho 04. Man.
But Senecal's big and he has a substantial amount of gold lead. 3 farm plus multiple plates onto the Papa Smurfy.
Yeah, also Turbo Chem Tank is upplated. It's not that great on show. He's so slow anyway. Turbo doesn't make him go turbo.
I mean, the intention is so you can get that pick and get the consume. You want to eat someone, and being able to get to them makes it quite scary.
Yeah, but it's not quite as fast as some of the other champions who use that items, such as the Udia, the Rammus. But hopefully he does make something happen.
Papa Smurfy with a face check in the brush. We now have the top lane v top lane. I mean, if there was an opportunity to take the 1v1 for Papa Smurfy, it would be now before we have the cynical reset and cash out. Because, I mean, Senti's sitting on a substantial amount of gold at this point, already 2,000 in the pocket. So if he gets this base of this, there's going to be no way Papa Smurfy can try and match.
Yeah, Senecal basically just said, I'm going to recall now, as he chopped up a minion there and conceded his ulti, which was an interesting choice considering that the team has called for Harold, and he won't have an ulti to get a free stack there. Hecarim is also on the way. There is a potential big fight coming out here onto the Harold.
Wombat is bottom and it has no teleport because he's opted to go for the barrier instead, as it seems like Rift Chill secured at least. Papa Smurfy should go down with it as he does get over the wall, unfortunately, so Flash burnt, but life lost. So red side Tabula rotation through. Working on as they do secure the Rift now onto Mr. Cho'Gath. So this is going to be game Santical and friends, basically, from how it's going so far. I mean, he has the most farm in the game as a top lane Cho'Gath. That's kind of interesting.
I mean, he has been kind of left alone by Papa Smurfy, who attempted to do some roaming. And he is going to get even more movement speed. Looks like he's going to be opting in for that Dead Man's Plate next by the looks of his item choices. And Tristana is just hitting this mid tower. Ooh. Already.
strength of Tristana is that she's a great pusher, she's a great sieger, like she takes turrets like no other AD carry, but if you fall behind, she is not great because she needs to be able to pop you, jump on your head, and disengage. So really strong champion from the head, from behind, probably a little bit probably one of the worst ones.
Yeah, I mean, it could be a little bit worse, like, but it's still relatively bad. Although she does have 3 kills, so it's not the end of the world. And the ganks that Bunny has provided in the bot lane has gone a long way, as well as the beautiful hooks that we have been seeing out of the Snake in.
Say beautiful hooks,
like that, though.
hooks the million. Hello, the prediction, Cynical. Able to cancel Nick Wolf, taken by the ground as we do have the force flash disengage thanks to that Nami bubble. That would have hit if he did not burn behind the chains. Finally working out Psychonaut finds kill number 1 for mid lane. So we should see the Rift Tail come through as the wave looks to crash. Cynical dropping it. Still playing for the first break for Tabby, at least Morgana. Opting not to go for the soft black shield. As Shelly now brought through on Tabula's side for the charge, but unfortunately not going to drop the turret just yet now. So Bunny, he has ult, he has the ponies, they're ready, they're at the stable, ready to go. Do we get the onslaught? Seneca looking to try as much pressure as he can, but it seems like this next should be fine. The ZARM, the special. Bunny.
What's the time on Dragon?
Full delivery system, still a minute and a half this time. Papa Smurty in the middle of this fight as Field finds multiple chains. He gets the 3-man lockdown. Morgana goes huge as the onslaught shadows in the backline. The Snake doing as much as he can, but unfortunately this will not be follow up through as Guppy able to find himself 2 kills, both Hecarim and Thresh. And Nick Wolf actually left alone to try to defend against multiple members. Rest in peace DSG as Tabula take the teamfight victory. 3 members still alive.
And despite the odd choice of champions here, we are absolutely seeing Tabula show up in this game. That 0-4 Varus is starting to do more and more damage as he has fully sacked that Maramoon. And this Cho'Gath that's just been allowed to farm and get some kills is starting to be a problem for the side of DSG.
Alright, so I mean, the terms of kills, it's actually just 12 to 13. It's just DSG coming ahead through, I guess, turrets and platings up to this point. But Dragons 1-1, so still anybody's game, but definitely DSG in a bit of a rougher position. So it's going to come down to, does Tabula get these perfect team fights that we've seen so far, or does DSG manage to find themselves some weak points, perhaps chink in the armor that they can try and wiggle their way back into this game through it?
Yeah, I definitely feel like Nick Wolf maybe not playing quite as well as he could have there. There was an opportunity for him. I mean, he kind of got engaged on.
Oh no.
Bunny came in and saved him.
The face check, the shockwave finds
check.
1. And that's going to be jungle down right there. I literally said it to they find the opening, and that opening is going to be the Morgana jungle.
Oh no, Psycho, what?
Also disengage flash, so we do have the wave coming through. Do we have onslaught of shadow into the back line? But there's going to be multiple members here immediately sending Hecarim back. You cannot afford to lose your jungler this early. They have Centacle, they have the Cho'Gath, the Consume is available in just a few seconds. So already Tabula at an advantage despite being a player down in this case, not having that smite. Okay, Lesnack finds the hook into 1. Chain's already burnt. Unfortunately, box lock it only Centacle in place. So some DSG sums.
Too much.
And ultimates are really burnt.
Yeah, they can't stay. They're too low. The Psycho and just his team is just poking them out. Nick
Tabula
has to back and Oriana's so low.
Tabula Morgana backing her way through as they do look to try darts. DSG realizing that they're too low, like you said, they cannot afford to really opt to try fight this. Realistically, Cynical should get the consume, so instead play it safe. You don't need to throw the game for the second Drake, so instead Nick Wolf getting a couple of poke, looking to try to find that tier 1 talent. So here comes the chem tank you spoke of, Cynical, the knock up the binding, and that's going to be Senti getting both Drake and a kill.
Yeah, that is a fast Cho'Gath. So the problem with Turbo Chem Tank is it's not that good on its own, but once you start building the other movement speed items, you end up being a really fast boy. Wow. Yeah, Cynical is, and this is those games where you just want to surrender because you one lane lost. Cho'Gath is just so hard to deal with once he gets this far ahead.
Yeah, especially the likes of Tristana. Not exactly the greatest of anti-tanks.
Yeah, Tristana wants to be hitting
she wants to be getting
the 80 carries.
Resets.
Exactly.
Oh, Baron Rush.
You don't want to be taking Right. Ooh, Baron Rush on the dot as it spawns potentially here. Psycho
ATK.
looking for a potential blue buff.
Oh no, Corrupting Chains does not find the targets. The onslaught, the backline does find both Morgana and Varus. Does the gauge flash from Pit. As Fiora unfortunately not going to get anybody with the binding, but the Zonias means that she will be able to walk out alive. So Guppy, as well as the rest of Tablet, looking to try to start the Baron. Honestly, this is kind of a coin flip in my opinion. I feel like Tablet looking a little bit too fancy here. They have a good opportunity with the Smite, so the quote-unquote Smite from Senecal.
I'm nervous.
But they're low. Like this is Tabula's game to throw, and this is exactly how you do that, and you throw.
Tabula realizing, hey, maybe this isn't such a good idea. Let's chill.
Let's not
do the
coin
Baron
flip the game.
at 20 minutes.
I respect the decision to back out. That's good. The communication
Agreed.
is there.
Agreed. The amount of times that I feel like players or teams in South Africa have the ego where it's like they started and like, now we started, we have to finish it. And ooh, I was nervous. Psycho almost died there. Wombat had Shockwave. That could have been a kill, no?
I mean, there's
Surely.
nothing wrong with looking for the Baron opportunity, as long as you have the communication and the discipline to pull off if the call is there. Because there's nothing worse than half the team peeling off the Baron and the other half team taking the fight. So as long as the team is practiced in that and the discipline and everybody being on the same page, then by all means look to try start, look for the dance, and look to see if you can get some form of forced DSG response. But in this case, it's going to be Tablet instead, fully pulling out on the objective, as we do have, please DSG, do not start this Baron. Oh no.
Bunny didn't hear you. You need to speak louder.
I need to speak louder. DSG picking up with Tabula left, but it looks like Psycho will find that Q connection. So the comments saying they are on this friend. Seneca on the other hand, very scary. He has that gotta go fast spot, and he has the trigger pull, so he can quite easily yeet in and steal that Baron from under your fingers. So DSG going for this objective, going for the Baron attempt, might be a little bit unnecessarily risky from them as well. Nick Wolf.
No one's willing to actually do that, Baron. Nick Q not going to connect quite how he'd like to see. Ooh, that Tristana is starting to do damage, and we can actually have a great time to have an item check-in. As we can see, Kraken Slayer and Lord Dominic's Regard completed on the Tristana. Meanwhile, for the Samira, we do have the Immortal Shieldbow coming out, followed by, I believe that's going to be Collector, most probably.
I mean, oh heck yeah, here we go. Unstoppable. Scion. Almost finding Guppy, but he actually calls it a little bit short. Guppy on the hand doing negative damage, so he's having the same issue that Nick Wolf's having, is getting through those tanky frontliners. As yet again we have DSG looking to try to start the Baron. I'm not entirely sure the over, I guess, over value of these Baron opportunities. Like realistically, even if it was a almost guarantee, you still have that risk of Senecal just basically flashing in and stealing from the pit. They see him bot lane as the red side TP does come through. Looks like Field unfortunately pushed back, does get a lot of damage off, however, as Guppy, the sole member, looking to try and force, I guess, DSG for the reset. So here we go, Tablet now given an opportunity to steal. So this is a good opportunity because realistically they can send Papa Smurfy back in with the teleport for the contest, but the rest of the team just won't be able to get back to the Baron. But instead they're going to look to try and play it safe and try and shove through mid or look for that dragon priority, which it does spawn in 15 seconds.
Yeah, sounds like the agreement is we're all going for Dragon now. I think DSG would actually just trying to burn TP on Senecal here. Meanwhile, talking about Senecal,
Papa Smurfy, he's the player to look for the face check, so it's not too bad. He's tanky, he's Scion, the Shockwave finds nobody, unfortunately, as DSG Bunny support done as the flash through trade. Eddie Carry is traded for Nick Wolf. He had both flash plus exhaust, but he just cannot react to that flash, and nom as Bunny on the backline just trying to deal between two tanks. And a Samira now dead, as Psycho, rest in peace, DSG finding themselves that T5 victory, despite Wombat not really finding anybody in that Shockwave.
Wow. That was a messy fight. Very, very messy. I thought it was one. Senecal got the ulti.
Yeah, he took out the main damage source, but it did not seem to matter.
Exactly.
I mean, honestly, with the Tabular comp, they have incredibly strong poke between jungle and mid lane. Psycho's starting to get some lethality in the build. So a straight up 5v5 fight probably doesn't actually favor them, despite the fact that Morgana has the potential to go big by flashing in, looking for those shackles. Because she does a lot of damage. She's got 3 items, or technically 2 in a boot. So, I mean, she has the potential in the fights, but like, just play towards that psycho poke condition. You cannot afford to look for these all-ins just yet, despite being able to delete Tristana.
Yeah, have you ever tried this Varus build, by the way? I don't know, you probably don't play Varus, but it is so much fun.
Yeah, it is.
You just kill someone and disappear. It is so much
I've tried it on ARAM, that's something. So, Baron. I would like to say this is like a 60-40 flip in favor of Tabula, just because the consume at this point should out-damage Smite against these neutral objectives, but at the same time, you never know with these flips. Bunny, Onslaught Shadows a little bit early into that shockwave, only finds 1, it's going to be Morgana, however, so support goes down as well. Backline, Senti and Psycho looking to try to take out Nick Wolf. He's just able to survive. Guppy on the other hand goes helicopter mode. He's going to bring out the bullets. The guns are flying, but nobody's dying. I'm wrong. DSG Wombat will be, as Guppy, the new focus in the backline yet again. Sentical not finding the knockout. Bunny on the other hand, domination as Nick Wolf jumping in stage right for that final auto onto mid lane as the raid boss V4. What are the drops? Sentical, any good loot?
And the shutdown going over to Nick is just what we want to see for the side of DSG, who could potentially get a Baron here. They do have the damage in the tanks. Yeah, so that is going to work out in their favor.
I mean, that was a pretty long team fight, I'm not gonna lie. It's almost as long as how this Baron is staying healthy. I mean, it's probably been about 15-20 seconds of just hitting the Baron. Just shows how, despite the pace of the game, it isn't actually that far in. It feels like the macro kind of being, I guess, rushed a bit, in the sense of like both teams trying to prioritize this Baron objective really early. Meanwhile, there's only been 2 Drakes to each side, so in terms of the greater time, we can just slow it down. We don't need a force. In this case, it's going to be DSG with Baron, which means they should be able to dictate the pace of the match. But what do they do in terms of macro? Do we go back to that standard South African era where everybody just looks to try and push through mid lane into potential collapse from Tabula, or do we look to play the game slow and steady and just try and get items on the crucial players? Nick Wolf in this case finding himself red, as well as having 3 items plus stopwatch. He's going to be pretty scary in these team fights, that's for sure.
Yeah, I do want to talk more about these team fights, and I think the biggest thing to talk about is how even with like one of the carries dropping every single time for the side of DSG, it doesn't matter. It seems like this Hecarim, who is full tank by the way, is just absolutely destroying the Samira every single time. Samira is not having fun. Actually killing Samira and Nami, I want to say. And it just, I want to say like this Samira build is a little bit questionable. Collector versus full tank Hecarim, you're never going to kill him. You need low Dominix if you want to do that. Which is why, like, we can see the perfect example on the side of Nick Wolf. This is what you want to be building against the likes of a Cho'Gath, who was the biggest threat on the opposing side. You want to get the low Dominix, you want to get the Kraken Slayer.
I feel like Samira is just not a great champion to deal with the likes of that front line though. I feel like she wants to kind of dash in, kill the back line, dash out. Trying to deal with the Papa Smurfy Bunny front line maybe a bit tricky.
Yeah, and like the last 2 or 3 fights, she's been dying to Bunny in the 1v1. Ulting and everything, it doesn't matter, it just drops. And lethality doesn't work against armor. So for those of you who don't know, lethality ignores amount of armor, whereas Lord Dominix, which is an armor penetration percentage item, ignores a percentage of your armor. So if you build armor penetration percent is a lot stronger than... exactly.
Okay, sure. Red side TP, looking to join as Psycho does find the damage, but no knock up just yet into the silence. So far, Papa Smurfy a little bit low in terms of ability availability with centers. Varus they had done for the double knockup. Papa Smurfy into the triple knockup. It's going to be the combo, the hat trick. As backline Onslaught Shadow into the jump. Nick Wolf should be DSG for this cleanup. So Senecal yet again, stage 2 raid bosses. This time it's going to be 5 members doing the best they can. Senecal taking longer than the Baron to go down, as we do have DSG just kind of running away with this game.
Yeah, that was I'm not sure about the TP there. Like Psycho's probably dead with a Hecarim on him and a Sun coming in with ulti. Probably just concede that death, and we can actually see Psycho building out that last whisper, realizing that hey, these tanks are a problem and we can't get through them. Yeah, and it just feels like this the team comp is starting to come together for DSG.
Yeah.
They have the tanks and these very high lethality damaged champions on the side of Tabula in the form of Guppy and Psycho just can't output the damage that they need to against the front line, and they're just
Struggling.
It doesn't even matter if you kill the back line.
So like you mentioned, I mean, we have the lethality mid lane Varus, so in theory, if he can get some free poke, he can quite easily delete Nick Wolf. I mean, one ultimate into Q combo, and that's your AD carry done for, but I mean, realistically, getting that opportunity may not be a bankable option, because it should be Nick Wolf positioning in the backline. They should have that Hecarim plus Sion front line just to create as much pressure as they need, even with Black Shield, Psycho. I just don't know how I feel about this Varus mid lane into this comp.
Yeah, and honestly, I think
Oh,
Bunny choosing to do he's deciding gonna
all
go.
delivery
We're not
system.
gonna
Okay,
Oh,
no Black
no.
Shield Shockwave is burned. That's going to be yet again Jungle down. We're going to the first member caught off for Tabula as the backline Onslaught Shine is pushing him. Guppy towards. He does dash through plus the flash, but it will not matter in the end. As yet again, members of Tabula caught off as mid lane siege continues.
I wonder how different this game is if you had something like a not a Cho'Gath, a Kog'Maw, in place of the Samara.
Still gonna have the same issue of needing that front line to stand up, like, and basically keep you alive. They have them all on a Black Shield, but it's not just comp in this case. It feels like it's just Tabula getting caught out on repeat. One of the players being in the wrong spot, and DSG seeing that opening and basically picking them out. We had bot lane Psycho and Senti kind of in an interesting position. It was more Psycho, but in the end, DSG finding that pick through the Papa Smurfy rotation down, plus the rest of the team eventually following through as well. In this case now, again, Jungle Morgana into that middle lane Nami, just getting picked off. So Seneca was in such a good spot, like we mentioned before. He got so much gold through top lane because Papa Smurfy trying to be proactive, but in the end it's just not working out because of the fact that they're not really playing the game correctly in terms of where they can and cannot be.
Vayne, that would be a great pick.
I
Fleeky
just
again.
mentioned it again. Exactly the two culprits from the previous time before, so that's going to be DSG just getting a free pick as Psycho does the best he can to try and get Senecal out of these fights. And the backline yet again. Guppy, where do you think you're going to, friend? You can spin as much as you want, but you're not spinning your way out of this one. So DSG finds himself fight number 4 in a row.
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's Fleeky kind of dying twice in a row in very unexpected manner, just not respecting the fact that there's a Thresh. I mean, he doesn't even Black Shield the Thresh hook, as a matter of fact. Ends up going down to the follow-up with that Shockwave.
The real issue with these constant picks is that it affects a team mentally. Like, you start having mental booms, play stop, concentrating, play stop, like paying attention to the game, and we're kind of seeing that through the positioning and players consistently getting caught off by Lesnek and his Thresh. I mean, we know it's his comfort, it's one of his go-tos, and he's going to punish you whenever you start paying attention.
Yeah. I don't know if there's a way. I mean, there is a way back for Tabula. It's a hard, difficult road, but there's so many shutdowns on this team. Like, if they misplay really badly,
Who do you want the gold on,
two or
though?
three of them die. What do you mean? Who gets the gold?
Who do you want to cash out on Tabula's side? Like, who do you put the shutdowns on? Who's the carry?
That's a hard one.
I don't
think
know.
The Morgana.
I genuinely
the
don't
Morgana.
know who you would want the shutdown. Like, I feel like Psycho is just not going to be able to deal with the tanks. So realistically, you can get more gold into him and start one-shotting squishies. But again, what do you do to try and deal with Sion and Hecarim? Senecal can only steal with
and
one
Guppy
player.
can't do anything either. That's why I say Fleeky, because he's the only person who can realistically kill these tanks. Like, his W does do quite a lot of damage, and he already has a Ludens Yeah, just need some more damage in his kit to burn down those carries. This is going to be Ocean Soul. And honestly, DSG is playing this very safe. They have Baron and are choosing to play very, very safe, not risking anything here.
It's Soul Point. I mean, realistically, Tabula winning this fight. Tabula need to win back-to-back fights to try and work their way back into this. Speaking of back-to-back, it's going to be Morgana and Garpy sent to the back thanks to Tristana just letting them a hand. Seems like Fjord are able to find one man knocked down to Lestek, but will not go down. Actually, he will say both jungle and support dead as the fight continues, but nonetheless, it's a little bit better for Tabula, but just not working out. So the damage that Psycho Arrow finding Nick Wolf chunking him down to about half health.
Should be the game though.
This cat is, apologies about that, cat climbing on keyboard, leaving the camera a bit there. Trying to stop it from breaking stuff.
Oh my word. Bunny going in the base. He wants Psycho really badly. Goes all in. Gonna secure that kill. Sion doing so much damage, forcing Nami to flash out there as well. And this is DSG taking a game that was looking super close and even potentially lost to
Tabula way ahead
a
of the
very
stage.
convincing win.
Nick Wolf again.
12,000 gold. And the raid boss show just has nothing against this combo. Quadra kill coming out there for Nick Wolf, who is surely happy about that, as DSG take game number 1.
GG, well played, convincing win. Nicely done. So how much do you think this was competitive versus execution? What are your thoughts?
It's tough. I feel like Shopkeeper won this game. So like, yeah, like comp diff is a factor, but I mean, the fact is that we got this beautiful lead coming out for the side of Tabula. They had a beautiful lead that we were really hoping to see, and it was looking good.
We'll take a look at
And it was
those
looking
post-game
really,
stats
really
in a
good.
second. I mean,
Yeah, and it was looking so good.
were there any picks in particular you found that needed to be banned away for second game in terms, like the Cho'Gath did a lot of work, wasn't really given the opportunity to carry, but like had a lot of early game, especially pressure. I mean, he had so many plates given to him, but yet just wasn't having the opportunity to carry. So does it deserve a ban game 2?
No, but I do think Hecarim deserves a ban. It was just the Morgana just didn't feel like the answer I was hoping to see. It performed okay. It just wasn't quite what I was expecting to see. And again, like just a bit of a shopkeeper diff there. Yeah.
Fair enough. And MVP so far in the series? Nick Wolf?
Nick Wolf. He got caught too many times. I think
Bunny? Jungle Hecarim?
if I had to say, it's either the Hecarim, even Lesnick. Like I know, again, I'm probably giving supports too much credit, but he was landing so many Qs, kind of helping get Nick Wolf ahead. And then also in these late game fights, he was very often making these picks happen with the Qs coming out onto Feed Fleeky, who was jungling for the side of Tabula.
Okay, well, nonetheless, there still is potentially 2 more games. Let's see whether we have that reverse sweep, the royalty special, or if we're going to be having a quick cast today with that 2 for 0. Nonetheless, we'll be back shortly for game number 2. And, I mean, if you had a better prediction on that before we do jump, thoughts?
DSG 2-0.
2-0. Okay, caster's curse applied. We'll see you guys soon.
Welcome back, everyone, to game number 2 of the best of 5 between
Best of 3.
DSG and Tabula. Best of 3. Sorry. Sorry. It looks like we do get something cheeky coming out here as DSG is 5-man heading to the
Oh,
bot
I
side.
like it. I like it a lot. We've had the standard divide and conquer, standard spread out for way too many series. So finally, we get to see some cheeky 5-man stack action. I mean, they have a fairly decent comp with it. The Chompers are there. Do we get the snack looking for the taunt? We do. The double flash burn, but he does find a 1 guppy, so no sums left in terms of flash for the bot lane. That means perhaps we get the Bunny 2k bot lane repeat ganks coming through. You can see the reset into the top side start, so we can hit the bot lane as soon as possible. I like it. I like it.
I mean, I think the biggest problem with that is it's not that strong. Basically, it's up to Nick Wolf and Lisnik to make things happen in the bot lane because Bunny is not... Nocturnes aren't known for their early ganks. There definitely is some potential for it, but not the strongest thing in the world.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
And,
He's a power farmer. He wants to look for the level 6.
That he does, and we can actually take some time now to talk a little bit about comms. We are seeing the Morgana jungle for the second time being played by this side of Tabula, and we have a new top laner for the side of Tabula as well.
And he has
coming
Ignite.
into play. We have the full cheese, Teemo with Ignite and Grasp. It could be worse. You could be running Airy. Or Comet for like ultimate poke.
Yeah, I mean the previous tablet cast that we did actually have the other day, we were asking what's up with the Teemo ban. So apparently Cynical, a Teemo connoisseur, a man of the pipe. So we'll see what he can do with that pick, as it was level 3, like you said before. Tablet going for their comfort picks versus DSG playing a little bit more, I guess, competitive picks. So comfort versus competitive. Let's see what works out. This is the like make it or break it, because everybody in the SAC scene always says play the comfort picks, play what you can play, don't necessarily follow the meta, but follow your heart. So let's see what the tablet following their heart works out versus DSG, and we get to that third game, or whether DSG are able to lock it out 2 in a row. As for top lane, I kind of like the Gangplank pick, very strong weak side pick. So we definitely should see DSG playing through bottom or mid lane. In this case, that double summoner or double flash burn bot, I'm hoping to see some Nocturne action.
Yeah, also with this Galio Nocturne combo, that's pretty sick. You have the Nocturne going in, followed by that Galio ulti coming out as well. So just super strong. Yeah, and we are kind of expecting the teamer to be winning in the top lane.
I know about that Korean strat where they put the Nocturne mid lane, Karthus jungle, and a Gangplank top, and they basically build Nocturne as more of a bruiser, where he flies across the screen with the Gangplank ulti plus the Karthus, making him unkillable but tanky, but like, you know, just overall super strong combo. So I'm waiting to see that in the SA scene at least, but I highly doubt it, because I don't think too many mid laners are really comfortable with that Nocturne mid pick. He's very niche, and back in the day used to be played as a bit of a Kassadin counter when Kassadin was pickle banned. But top lane, Papa Smurfy, does he have the oranges? Doesn't need them, as he just burns the flash preemptively.
Beautiful preemptive flash, and yeah, works out pretty well for him.
Oh, the zap. Psycho, Cage comes through, one bad force the fancy fears the repeat in the top side, so this time the oranges are needed, as Papa Smurfy able to survive. Gang attempt number 2. I see you.
Again, weak side, Gangplank, very stonks. Totally happy to have that on your team.
Yep. Oh.
Ooh.
I like the
There's a
Jinx
chance they
pick.
die.
We mentioned Jinx making it to the draft last game. It was not picked or banned by either side. In this case, Nick Wolf going to be prioritizing it, and Guppy looking at that Vayne. I mean, you mentioned Vayne in the last game, and okay, Bubble. Do we get a pin? We don't. Just Guppy. Taunt will find the damage, but Guppy forced to burn some of the heal. Does not matter, as Bunny is able to bring the damage nonetheless. So first blood will be the bot side as DSG Papa Smurfy do the best they can to survive from the poison, the tick, and the talk, and the ignite the minion aggro. He has almost no health, and Cynical just saying bye.
Yeah, he knew he was dead. Looking, wow. Oh, these
Generic
bubbles are looking great.
Timo
One
Logic.
trick Nami.
Speaking of bubbles, if anybody missed the girl gamer tournament that happened, I believe it was yesterday. I think Luna did really well on her Nami, so we've got Nami number 2 for the SA scene at least this week.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the end of the world for the Vayne though. Not losing too much CS there, and I think the biggest problem is this Nocturne getting ahead. And yeah, talking about Bruiser Nocturne, that is currently the only way you play Nocturne, whether it's mid lane or in the jungle. Yeah, it was also a Korean play that made it popular as in the jungle as well as in the mid lane. It's the same thing. You run the Stride Breaker with some more tanky items after that. Stride Breaker and Sterox Gauge, I believe, is the combo.
Yeah.
Tends to keep you alive a little bit longer than if you were going full ham on the AD.
Drake, on the other hand, not secured. It's going to be Tabula playing proactive as the Baby Cage finds one. The roots there for the chain. Shockwave, hello. Bit of a trade of position. A Psycho just flashing through for the last final ult. So, looked pretty fancy. Wombat to the best that he could, but just not going to work out as we do have the mid lane gank working out for Tabula.
Oh, Hasima. Papa Smith, he's not happy.
Oh, well, they're on the same farm, so he's not actually doing too poorly, honestly. The gangplank holding out. Man's got oranges for days. Scout code. Can't underestimate it. I don't know how I feel about that chicken chroma, I'll be honest. The blue doesn't really work for me.
Yeah, I feel like the default skin is just so good already.
True.
Not sure why it has any chromas, to be
damn,
honest.
bubble. So we have Nocturne pathing towards top side jungle, and it looks like we just said the Morgana attempted a binding. No, Nick Wolf spots him out, says no. So
Oh, Timo is vulnerable to this gank though.
we discussed that level 6
Is
power
that
farm
ulti?
from Nocturne. Yeah, Paranoia now available means that Seneco has to be a little bit more careful with where he stays. He has shrooms, however, so he can look to try to set up for some defensive shrooms as he does have in the river, just to potentially
Or Yana
avoid
even moved up as well.
Nocturne from walking in. But you keep in mind, Nocturne having that
Just
semi-global,
smelled something.
but level 1 on the other hand, it's more of a hug range than a semi-global, with that Nocturne ultimate being quite short.
Yeah, and I think that was the scout just thinking, something's fishy here. And he chilled in the bush and survived the gank, basically, because Nocturne couldn't see him.
True.
Oh, Nocturne heading back topside though. Not done yet.
Riftchild was the option.
Mid lane.
No, we're gonna watch bot lane as we do have that bubble attempt yet again, as here comes the Paranoia, the darkness, the fear is gonna be there, but unfortunately Papa Smurfy not able to get too much value out of that ult. But nonetheless, it's gonna be Papa Smurfy finding himself a free kill as they're gonna try and work their way through these shrooms. Interesting decision. Orange's burst, Shockwave finds one, it's gonna be the jungle, Morgana forced to flash out of the popcorn. Not the popcorn, but the trap. Papa Smurfy, the trade of the mid. Papa Smurfy just able to survive. DSG looking to collapse on the second one. It's going to be Psycho trading his life for it. So mid lane and jungle for
Nothing.
Nobody actually. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Papa Smurfy got out of that one as well. Like no one died, and honestly, those shrooms placements felt really odd. It wasn't really landing on anyone. It's not exactly where I would expect you to be putting them. Yeah, these two here in the top side, you'll notice is just it's hugging the walls, but not quite in an area where the fight was happening.
Was expect the unexpected.
We have Gallia level 6 now, and the Nocturne is getting close to having ulti, and he is heading bot side to pick up his bottom jungle. Definitely a dangerous position here for the Tabula bot lane.
Nobby's the one without flash, so she's gonna be the one playing safe in this case, because if you get engaged, you don't have flash as a Nobby, you're pretty much a sitting goose. You're just dead. So here's entrance, Paranoia, both coming off cooldown shortly. Means that Nami needs to be very, very careful in her positioning. And from what we saw in the first game, positioning not necessarily his expertise, as he was kind of caught off a couple of times. As Cynical now looking to try to completely ignore the wave and instead take that 1v1, the Scout's code. As he does call fisticuffs. But we don't really see too much, just a bit of poke. DSG, Papa Smurfy able to keep himself healthy thanks to the power of oranges. Citrus.
Citrus plus Tech Corrupting Potion doing the work. And Psycho just keeps farming in the mid lane. Oh. Cynical's probably hoping to get a freeze there. Mid lane gonna get crushed in. Oh, a shock. Wow, I was expecting a shockwave. Ooh, this Nocturne is power farming, dude. He's stealing Morgana's farm too, even.
Yep, still on enemy side chickens. These are mine now. As his chicken of his own defends the mid lane of River. Is the one back just trying to create as much pressure so they can sneak the dragon objective for the side of DSG for a change. Tabula finding themselves that first one pretty freely. As now DSG looking to try and play a little bit more proactive.
Nami realizing she is sushi if she gets caught there. Cynical taking some damage.
So
taking 2 tower shots there feels a little bit bad.
Oh, there we go.
Oh no.
Jungle. I genuinely think the Nocturne's pretty good into the likes of Morgana. I mean, in theory, I guess she has stopwatch and Zonia's towards the later stages, but in the early stages, the Black Shield not really offering too much. Assuming Nocturne isn't too far behind, having the damage to, like, I guess one-shot is what we just saw there. Oh, again, Papa Smurfy with the positioning on that ult.
Oh no. Doesn't
Just the zone though. Was waiting for the Nocturne assistance.
There's a Nocturne.
Popcorn. Timo, does he find the trade? The DPS, the ticket, he does. The 1-for-1 in a 1v2 situation, so actually Cynical turning out quite nicely.
Yeah, he's gonna be happy about that. You never want to be dying for nothing. As the Timo, meanwhile, bot lane getting
there we go.
Guppy getting flashed on.
Wave for the disengage. The snack going on. The traps. Nope.
Fearfully he's coming in for this gank. Is he gonna make it happen? Do they know it's coming?
Has cleanse. I mean, if they play this correctly, they can honestly turn this into a free team fight. As we do have right side TV coming through. It's gonna be Papa Smurfy looking to try and join the fight. It's gonna be Gangplank, and once he's cashed out, finds himself a second, kills the cages there. A little bit too late. Psycho not quite there in time, but now Wombat forcing the choke. Psycho has to flash out, but he does not have flash. Shockwave pulling him back to the neck as the stopwatch for a bit of time. But the going golden just means that Nick will find himself his own kill, and that's going to be Jinx on the table as well. I mean, kill. Well, the 4th player finding a kill. Only Lesnack left on the 0 kills.
Which is totally fine. And this is... Yeah, this is clearly showing, like, I know people believe in the comfort over the meta, but I'm a strong believer in meta tends to trump comfort, and this game, or this series, honestly, has been an experiment in meta versus comfort, and for now, it seems like the clear winner is looking to be meta.
What are your thoughts on the armor boots that Gallia's picked up?
I'm not sure, dude.
I kind of get what he's
there's
going
one thing,
for.
there's
He's
just a
versing
Vayne.
Vayne in lane, but literally she's the only AD source on the team, so I don't know. I feel like some magic boots would have been better, or magic resistance boots rather.
Yeah, I agree, and he's building even more armor. By the way, yeah, he's not quite done with that armor.
Oh, nice binding. Does it translate anything? Wombat stepping forward does get CC in the charge. A lot of damage.
Yeah, if Psycho ulti there would have been a kill onto Wombat, but probably wasn't quite in range for that ulti. And now Psycho needs to be careful because there is a potential for this Galio as well as the Nocturne to just take out this Veigar in the mid lane. Oh, Nocturne. Looking for it. Oh, this is a bot lane dive. Galio with Nocturne combos coming. Potentially with GP as well.
Guppy.
You feel it.
Taunts there. The Wombat dive. Rotation coming through for Psycho yet again a little bit late. And Sliker, the last one alive, ends up catching Nick off in his trap, but it will not secure the stun. And Sliker so low. Bunny, the first juggle of the aggro. The taunt's gonna find it. And luckily enough, Nocturne securing that aggro and dropping it just in time. Beautifully played. DSG yet again.
Dive. Wow. Even the Gangplank participated in there.
It's a team effort.
And honestly, yeah, this Teemo is having no relevance at all in this game.
Give it time. Teemo scales. He needs items first. He'll become a little bit more useful. The Scout's code.
Yeah, but he also needs to be winning lane very, very hard.
Well, they're going to try and clear the wave as Field now off the top side dives. So Papa Smurf, he does end up going down as Wombat. The Shockwave flash. Tentacle, no. He's got the fancy feet. He's got the moves. He's got the Jagger.
We need to land the Q on Morgana.
Oh, binding.
She does land it.
Wombat, does he get flash?
No.
They can try and clear. Oh, that's so
There's a
close to
shroom.
the shroom. She turns back in though. Wombat.
How?
Man's got his
That looks
map
like
hacks
that looks
on.
like map hacks.
Oh, if
my
he hits
goodness,
the
that
shroom
was
now,
literally
if
like
he-
an inch.
Okay. He's got to recall on the spot.
Oh, that's a dead.
Here's entrance,
Nami.
probably a little bit overkill. It was just a Nami, but nonetheless, Bunny finds himself killed number 5 as Tabula just falling further and further behind with DSG leading with 10 kills already.
Yeah, the 0-4 Morgana is not feeling very relevant, and I just feel like, if anything, you can play Comfort, but there are certain roles that tend to not do very well with Comfort picks, and one of those right now is the jungle role. There just are certain junglers that are relevant, and anything else is really irrelevant in the jungle meta.
I mean, I don't know if it's the series or just overall, but it feels like Wombat's the most comfortable Orianna we have seen so far in the SAC scene. We've seen some very uncomfy Orianna, or mid lane players trying to pick up Orianna at least. But it seems like Wombat may be the first one that actually does play the champion pretty consistently. From what I can tell, maybe I'm wrong, but Wombat showing his top lane that he has some tricks up his sleeve. That 1v2 coming through quite clearly.
Yeah, he isn't landing like 4-man, 5-man ultis, but he is consistently landing
He's finding 1v1s
the 1-man,
though.
2-man one.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Which is good to see, because those are the ones we normally see the other Oriannas missing in the league. I mean, how long can they hold on to this game?
It's gonna come down to whether Sandico can get the lead and start pushing through the Smurfy
good
top
God.
lane. Oh, not again. Bot lane is
Delete
not
it.
having a fun time. Tabula,
There goes mid.
Jumpy, last order. Not even necessary as Jinx has red buff, I believe. Top lane, we've seen this before. GP doing the best they can. Morgana may just go down. No, she survives as finally Tabula again. The top lane dive. Like I was saying before, this is going to come down to, can Sendical get strong enough to basically require multiple DSG members to deal with him as he looks for that split push pressure. But realistically, with the pacing of the game, I just don't see it getting there. So I feel like Guppy's never going to get that post-game interview that he really desperately wants. Only winning sides get post-game interviews.
Yeah, and the like, I feel like Sentinel can only kill one person, maybe two if the jungle is also there. Whereas on the side of DSG, they can kill 4 people, not counting the top lane. You know, so like, you're always gonna have more people to kill if you have more lanes winning. Oh no, you don't win this one. Oh my man.
Bye-bye. Oh,
Good.
nice flash. Good save. Stopwatch.
He's not even
broken.
getting any farm. Tragic.
Yeah, Morgana kind of getting a little bit choked out here. She's starved out, as we can already see. Nocturne almost doubled of CS at 20 minutes in.
Jungle.
Bit of a
Meta.
Diffie in the
That's all I'm
jiffy?
gonna say.
Question mark? No, shame. You can't really blame Morgana for this one. This is a bit of more not really having prior lanes, or at least not winning in lanes that you should have prior in. I don't know.
There's a
do you-
Teemo dive. Oh, Baron setup?
ki-
This
it
is
kinda
Baron
feels-
setup. DSG. Want to do the 20-minute Baron flip.
It kind of feels like Tabula have 3 losing lanes or 3 losing matchups. Not entirely sure how Team
Which
and
should be
Gangplank works.
possible.
I think Timo
Yeah,
would
and it
have the
shouldn't be
edge on that
possible
one.
to get that many losing lanes. I think Timo Gangplank is a pretty even one.
I think Timo is a bit
Um,
stronger in the early stages, but I'm mistaken.
yeah, but Gangplank can heal and kind of survive.
Funny.
That's a dead.
Yeah, like this is exact like example of why Nocturne is such a strong pick when ahead, but like becomes incredibly weak towards later stages because he's like able to basically just click R and delete someone as soon as he sees them out of position at this point. But if he falls behind, not being able to have that one-shot potential makes his whole kit a little bit rough to play around because he's sort of a one-directional champion.
Is this the game ending here?
I mean, they're looking to push through mid lane. They want to break the gates and open up the
At
shove.
least get that inhibitor.
Nick Wolf trying
Nick
to go
Wolf
big.
going ham.
Forced to burn Clan. Still has to summon a flash as Shelly Large finds another charge. Does she? She does not. The smite. So just gonna be the mid lane inhib. So gates have been opened as DSG. The flash in. Hero's entrance looking for the save. Nobody able to walk up just yet. Cynical really far forward. Looks like they're gonna have that wombo. It's gonna be the combo. As the blind into the bleed, the DPS, the tick of the talk of the ignite will not be enough, and it's gonna be DSG wombo fighting to the shreem. Okay.
Cynical finally gets the stream onto Wombat after missing one or two of those kills. Yeah.
You hate to see it. Wombat was looking so good. He just survived, and you've got the bamboozle. The mighty Timo. So Cynical.
So the question is,
yeah,
can Cynical carry? Like,
I don't know. I feel like it would be between Psycho and Cynical to win this match. The two players
they have a
to
hard
watch out.
scaling.
I mean, we saw
Yeah.
Cynical first game doing incredibly well on the Cho'Gath into Papa Smurfy. He's doing pretty decently for how hard he's been sat as well as the pick itself. But you gotta keep in mind that he's going for the combat summoner. He has no teleport, so he has ignite, means that he should be banking on winning this lane. Otherwise, with time, he's just gonna sort of become less and less relevant with gameplay, having that push and split potential. So, not a good spot.
This farm gap in the jungle is feeling rough. I honestly think you need to get the shutdowns, but onto who?
So Wombat just checking brushes. We've got two sweepers so far for the side of DSG, just to get rid of the shrooms. Looking to try to set up for Baron. They've got a pretty decent Baron taking comp with the Gangplank Oriana, Gangplank Jinx and Nocturne combination. So a lot of on-hit, a lot of damage. As we do have it started up. Team on the other hand trying to get some vision, but Wombat and Lesnack in a brush, looking for the pick. And it's going to be the Everfrost into that double taunt as DSG turn off the Baron. For some free picks. Now going to be the new focus. Morgana forced to try and disengage, but Bunny just has too much damage. It's going to be the triple for Nocturne. As yet again, DSG just clean these team fights and now look to try and shove through mid lane. Guppy on the other hand. Rest in peace. Is that the game?
That's surely the game. Man, that is just what a game. What a game.
Wow.
Honestly.
Trying to see that meme. But I mean, you called it. The Casas curse was applied pre-game number 2 DSG for the 2-0 over Tabula, and I mean, honorable attempt from Tabula, as we do have that shockwave chicken and one last time. Dinner is served, but nonetheless, GG. It's going to be Tabula on the plate as DSG take the series 2-0.
Which, yeah, wow. Just beautiful stuff.
Okay, I mean, MVP, what are we thinking?
I mean, I think it's Bunny. Yeah, he played really well on the Hecarim, and he really popped off in this game as well. 0 deaths even. It's not even close. I feel like the jungle was just super hard to deal with, and I feel like right now meta junglers are just so strong because of how hard Riot has nerfed the jungle. So it's like you need something that can clear the jungle really fast and also be relevant and get good ganks. And if you can't do all of the above, you're gonna fall off, or you're gonna lose to one of the meta junglers, which is what we saw happen here. Although I feel like Morgana does have the potential, it's just you need to pick it against the right things. Like I think Morgana is probably going to be a niche jungle pick, and it's definitely possible that you can pull it off. But yeah, you need to think about it more. Like if there's a Volibear open, if there's a Hecarim open, those should take priority.
I mean, honestly, I kind of like the Morgana pick. I feel like it wasn't really done justice this game. I feel like it's a new sleeper OP. We should see a lot more of it in the future. Unfortunately, didn't have the greatest of times, as well as probably find that itemization and builds should come through as we do get further into the patches. As well as when we do see it pop up in pro scene. Fingers crossed we do have that in some of the international competitive, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the moment that we see it in competitive or pro scene is the moment that we'll see the teams like B5, DSG, and ATK Goon Squad added to their arsenal of potential picks. And it's also a really nice pick to have because currently there's like only 2 meta AP junglers, maybe 3, but I don't consider the third one meta here in South Africa. The Nidalee pick isn't a super great one to see, but the Lilia and the Fiddlesticks is always great to see. But we're going to go into post game now and see you there.
Okay, so unfortunately, a jungle not available. So we do have Lesnek joining us, representing a DSG. So Lesnek, welcome, dude. Congrats on the win.
Thank you very much. Good to be here.
Right, so if anyone that does not know, Lesnek, Galio from the previous game, and first game, trying to think what you're playing now. Thresh, yes, there was some good hooks that we did see. So, I mean,
thank you very much.
Were you surprised that the Thresh made it through the first game draft? Like, I feel like Thresh quite commonly banned versus you guys.
Yeah, I do think Bunny has a few picks that are scarier than Thresh, but I do think Thresh is incredibly strong. Whether I played well or not, the champion's kit is really broken, so I think it should probably be banned most of the games, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so, I mean, expectations for DSG, how were you guys looking going into the series? Did you feel like it was going to be that clean 2-0, or you think it was going to be a bit closer? What was the overall team vibe?
We haven't been performing too well recently, so we weren't too confident, but we were still expecting 2-0. We are looking to be a top team, so we should be able to handily beat the mid-range teams.
Okay, and thoughts on the performance for tonight? Do you guys feel like you played well? Have you been struggling a bit recently?
I think we're improving at a decent pace. I think game 1's mid-game macro was pretty rough, and we played too slow. Game 2, I think we played very well, but yeah, I still haven't watched the games back, so I don't really know yet.
Yeah.
Okay. And as for draft, are you guys happy with the way that you guys draft? I felt like they kind of went for more comfort picks, you more, I guess, competitive picks. Not that you guys weren't comfortable in the champions, but overall.
Yeah, it's really hard to draft right now, I think, because of all the jungle buffs to the weird champions. I think Diana is absolutely super busted because she can like clear very, very fast and efficiently.
I didn't know that.
She can 6 camp in 315. She's nuts.
Wow, that's disgusting. Yeah, that's like Volibear level clear.
Yeah, she's a bit slower than Udia, I think, but yeah. So, yeah, and I'm also not sure about Rammus yet, if he should be banned or not. That ult scares me a lot. So drafting's a bit awkward, but I do think we got very strong meta picks that wombo very well, especially game 2.
Yeah.
Like what can you do with a Nocturne ult and a Galio support and a GP ult on you? You just die.
Okay, I mean, I know Gappy, AD carry from Team Tablet really wanted a post-game interview, so you guys kind of stealing this win means he doesn't get to come onto the big screen, so we'll have to get him in the future, hopefully, because only winning teams get post-game interviews. Gappy, come on, you got to step up in the future, but I'm sure we'll get him through. So, I mean, overall, how are you guys finding the tournament? Because we went through like about 5 weeks now, going on to 6 weeks. Do you guys feel like you're making good progress? Overall, how do you find the team's performance week 5 versus week 1?
I think we sorted out pretty well. We faced B5 in game 1, which is kind of rough because they're obviously very, very strong. I think we learned a lot. Then after that, we faced Instinct, also extremely strong team. I think we performed very well after that. And then I think our egos and confidence got maybe a bit too big, and then we lost some games we should not have. But I think we're putting it back.
It happens.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think it's yeah. I mean, you face your 2 hardest opponents at this point, and now it's just looking like it should just be an upward road, right? I think you guys are 5th at the moment, and with that win, you guys will be 3-3. So you kind of just Era Lost Time and MLGC Aspect is your 2 closest rivals, the people you need to beat if you want to get into the next stage. How are you guys feeling against those 2?
We that's the one loss we took that we shouldn't have. This is Lost Time. We lost 1-2 versus them. It was extremely hard for me to draft against them and for our team because they play mage bot lane, and I think
Oof.
we were overconfident and they just beat us. They played better on the day. It happens.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
mean,
I'm curious to see this mage bot lane actually. You know, some interesting things to see in the future.
The mid laner is I think he's international. He's absolutely insane. I think he's so good, and I wasn't expecting that. So that was definitely a big fright as well. Enio, I think his name is.
yeah, I
Oh.
do recognize that name. I remember that
Scary
team.
player.
You gotta be kind of careful, especially like around these internationals. They have some interesting picks, especially on the ping and whatnot. Speaking of mid lanes and picks, I mean, I thought Wombat played really nicely on his Orianna today. It was good. We've seen some kind of shaky Oriannas on the big screen recently, so it's good to see someone that's actually hitting shockwaves and finding the skill shot connections and whatnot. So good job to him.
Wombat role swapped at the start of this season, so it's taking a bit of time to get him into the mid lane and meta picks, but he's doing really well.
I agree.
He's doing really well.
Cool. Otherwise, Tankus, any other thoughts from your side?
No, happy. I'm kind of keen to see. I feel like you guys are gonna. There's gonna be some close. I think this group is looking very, very close. I feel like between Era Lost Time and MLGC Aspect, it's like, and you guys as well. Like it's so easy because like all of you guys, I feel like there's definitely games to be won and games to be lost, and it could end up like I see like a potential for a tiebreaker, and I'm excited. Yeah.
Yeah, no, the mid-range teams in this group definitely leveled up. There's no the mid-range is extremely strong.
Yeah, for sure. It's all about closing that gap.
Yeah,
though.
I think we're all surprised.
Yeah,
exactly.
We need the mid-range players to start peeking up and saying hi to the top range teams because they need a bit of a check, which we actually had ATK dropping a map last Thursday. So I mean, we're already seeing good signs. So good job to all those mid-range teams.
Agreed.
Keep grinding, keep moving, keep pushing, and applying pressure to the top range teams. Nonetheless, though, do you have any shout-outs for any players in the chat that maybe came to watch you guys play tonight?
I know Speckles is in there supporting us. She recently joined the team
Very cool.
as a manager, so I would like to shout her out for the future. And I know Ivandre Dion, the managers, the owners, the heart of DSG. Shout out to you guys.
Perfect. Otherwise, congrats again on the series victory. We hope to see you guys again for some more casts in the future. And congrats on the win.
Cool. Thanks very much.
Cool.
Nice to talk to you.
Same.
Cool. Cheers.
Cheers, Eden. Right, Tankers, if you had to summarize the series for anybody that maybe missed a game or two, what exactly happened? What did we miss? And why weren't you guys here first?
We had a really close game 1. It was a really interesting draft. Again, we kind of surprised by the way Tabula Rasa drafts, but something to get used to. They're very comfortable. They like the comfort picks. We saw the Morgana jungle coming out in game number 1 as well as in game number 2. And I think Tabula performed really well in game number 1. The early game was looking good for them, and then it started to fall a little bit apart, and Down South just started punishing and picked up the pressure and the tempo and took game number 1 relatively decisively after a little bit of a slip in the early game. And then in game number 2, we had an absolute stomp. I just feel like the Nocturne Gangplank as well as the Nocturne Gangplank with the Galio in the bot lane. Yeah. Was a super strong combo, and there was just no way for them to deal with it. The bot lane dives were coming in. There's nothing you can do with those 3 champs just diving on you super hard. And
really strong.
No answer. The Teemo top lane and the Cho'Gath top lane could not carry hard enough for the side of Tabula Rasa. But Cynical tried.
Yeah, I mean, honorable mention of Senti played pretty well yet again. Both series. Cho'Gath as well as the Teemo, the main player to watch out for. I think Psycho is still finding his feet a little bit, but gave a good shot at it. So, are you disappointed that we didn't get the Shaco, or not really?
I mean, I'm keen to see it again. I feel like, especially when it's a series or games where it's really close in terms of like ELO and where these teams are standing in the tournament, because I think we saw it against, I want to say it was one of the top teams. It was
ATK?
part of B5 or Instinct. It was either B5 or Instinct in Group E. I think it was Instinct, and it just got punished, and it didn't have the relevance we would like to see. And it happens. Yeah.
It is what it is. Nonetheless, that is about it for us tonight, Tankers and myself. Been an absolute pleasure for the cast again every Thursday and Sunday at 8 p.m. So we'll be back again next week, Thursday, for the next series as we do jump into week 6 of... How many weeks are there again?
There's 9 weeks
9
in total,
weeks,
so we are
nice.
getting really close to the end here. And that's why these games are super, super important now. It's high stakes because you are either locking in for the next round or you're locking out now. You need to be playing your heart out to be getting there.
I actually like that. I like that a lot. So nonetheless, another great series for the Mercedes-Benz ATK League of Legends Champion Series. And that's going to be it for myself as well as Tankers. Alright, I will check you guys next Thursday. Otherwise, enjoy the highlights for anybody that maybe missed the series. I mean, the nice thing about some of the heals that it gives you that you can see it boost on the cost as well. Plus, it works on an ally, so when Morgana comes for a gank, maybe having that heal means that she finds... Oh, hang on, the tick at the top for the W damage is going to be there. The pool as DSG Bunny not able to really regain that.
There is something interesting going on.
Oh, the pop on. Nick Wolf does not have his jump anymore, means they won't be able to really take the Superman. Thresh reporting for duty as we do have Gumpy pop on the canceling on mid lane cycling on it against spot 1, but however it does have Medine aggro for the soft shield. The final order should be there, and it will be the solo.
Yeah, surprisingly even between these two junglers, minus the CS differential.
Guppy.
Oh,
Snack.
beautiful.
Oh, the bubble though, it's gonna be
Getting
double trouble as Guppy finds himself the first kill, looking for the second, but Guppy made this go down as Nick Wolf looks to reposition into the fadeaway auto. Nicely played.
Yeah, that was, I think, actually a misplay.
So she can quite easily negate Papa Smithy's unstoppable, but it looks like he's forced to flash out, doesn't make it across the wall, but it says Seneca the Guardian, let's sneak into the knockup. So Seneca with the disrespect dance, as we do know, Cho'Gath, hang on, Seneca.
Yeah, Pitya just not respecting the potential.
Jungle for jungle.
All in mid lane.
Mid lane. Shockwave has been burned as we do have... Oh no, it's painful to watch. And it seems like it's going to be a double win for DSG as they...
If you do that, I'm going to go for my Krugs. Yeah, so this is a really, really hard break.
Oh no, we've seen this play before. He has no flash. Psycho in a spot now, choking him towards Sandical. Wombat has to try and get past, just sitting on the chains, gets the guaranteed into the consume. Seneca and Psycho just pretty much receives the black shield as we do have the undying chains. And that's going to be DSG Wombat dropping. No, Psycho refuses to die. The Nami heal just enough to stall him out longer, but unfortunately Bunny chains CC and Hecarim now finds himself kill number 3 as the dragon should be there for the reward for DSG. Say beautiful hooks
like
that,
that,
he
though.
hooks the million. Hello, the prediction, Senecal able to cancel Nick Wolf, taken by the ground as we do have the force flash disengaged thanks to that Nami bubble that would have hit if he did not burn behind the chains. Finally work out. Psycho now finds kill number 1. The Smurthy in the middle of this fight as Field finds multiple chains. He gets the 3-man lockdown. Morgana goes huge as the onslaught shadows of the backline. The Snake doing as much as he can, but unfortunately this will not be follow up through as Guppy able to find himself 2 kills, both Hecarim and Thresh. And Nick Wolf actually left alone to try to defend against multiple members. The rest of play it safe. You don't need to throw the game for the second Drake. So said Nick Wolf getting a couple of poke. Looking to try to find that tier 1 talent. So here comes the chem tank you spoke of. Senecal, the knockup of binding, and that's going to be Senti getting both Drake and a kill.
Yeah, that.
Dying I'm wrong. DSG Wombat will be as Guppy the new focus in the backline yet again. Sentical not finding the knockup. Bunny on the other hand, domination as Nick Wolf jumping in stage right for that final auto onto mid lane as the raid boss V4. What are the drops? Sentical, any good loot? The double knockup, Papa Smurfy into the triple knockup. It's going to be the combo, the hat trick. As backline all-star shouting into the jump, Nick Wolf. It should be DSG for this cleanup. So Senecal yet again, stage 2 raid bosses. This time it's going to be 5 members doing the best they can. Senecal taking longer than the Baron to go down, as we do have DSG just kind of running away with this game. Delivery
not gonna
system.
go.
Okay.
Oh,
No black
no.
shield shockwave is burned. That's going to be yet again jungle down. We'll go into the first member caught off for Tabular as the backline also on Shan is pushing him. Guppy towards. He does dash through past the flash, but it will not matter in the end. As yet again member before. So that's going to be DSG just getting a free pick as Psycho does the best he can to try and get Senegal out of these fights. And the backline yet again. Guppy, where do you think you're going to, friend? You can spin as much as you want, but you're not spinning your way out of this one. So DSG finds himself fight number 4 in a row, prioritizing it, and Guppy looking at that Vayne. I mean, he mentioned Vayne in the last game, and okay, Bubble. Did we get a pin? We don't. It's Guppy. Taunt will find the damage, but Guppy forced to burn some of the heal. Does not matter as Bunny is able to bring the damage nonetheless. So first blood will be the bot side.
I believe is the combo.
Yeah.
Tends to keep you alive a little bit longer than if you were going full ham on the ATK.
Drake on the other hand, not secured. It's going to be Tabula playing proactive as the baby cage finds one. The roots there for the chain. Shockwave, hello. Bit of a trade of position as Psycho just flashing through for the last final shrooms. Interesting decision. Orange just burn. Shockwave finds one. It's going to be the jungle. Morgana forced to flash out of the popcorn. Not the popcorn, but the trap. Papa Smurfy. The trade of the mid. Papa Smurfy just able to survive. DSG looking to collapse on the second one. It's going to be Psycho trading his life again. Papa Smurfy with the positioning on that ult.
Oh no. Doesn't
Who's the
matter.
zone though? Was waiting for the Nocturne assistance.
There's an auction.
Popcorn. Timo, does he find the trade? The DPS, the ticket, he does. The 1-for-1 in a 1v2 situation. So actually, to try and join the fight, it's going to be Gangplank once he's cashed out. Finds himself his second. Kills the cages there. A little bit too late. Psycho, not quite there in time, but now Wombat forcing the choke. Psycho has to flash out, but he does not have flash. Shockwave pulling him back to the neck as the stopwatch for a bit of time. But the going golden just means that Nick will find him.
You feel it?
Towards there, the Wombat dive rotation coming through for Psycho yet again a little bit late. As Psycho, the last one alive, ends up catching Nick Wolf in his trap, but it will not secure the stun. And Psycho so low. Bunny, the first juggle of the aggro. The taunt's gonna find it. As luckily enough, Nocturne securing that aggro and drop it. He's got the fancy feet, he's got the moves, he's got the Jagger.
We have the Q on Morgana.
Binding.
She does land it.
Wombat, does he get flash?
No.
I could try clear. Oh, that's so
There's a
close to
shroom.
the shroom. She turns back in though. Wombat.
Goes mid.
Jumpy, last auto. Not even necessary as Jinx has red buff, I believe. Top lane, we've seen this from before. And GP doing the best they can. Morgana may just go down. No, she survives as finally Tabula again. Lane inhib, so gates have been opened. As DSG, the flash in. Hero's entrance, leave for the save. Nobody able to walk up just yet. Senegal really far forward. Looks like they're gonna have that wombo. It's gonna be the combo. As the blind into the bleed, the DPS, the tick of the tuck of the ignite will not be enough, and it's gonna be DSG Wombat fighting the shroom! As DSG turned off the Baron for some free picks. Now gonna be the new focus. Morgana forced to try and disengage, but Bunny just has too much damage. It's gonna be the triple for Nocturne. As yet again, DSG just clean these team fights and now look to try and shove through mid lane. Guppy on the other hand.